Are you looking for a good quality wax to keep your RV shiny like new, but don't want to hire an expensive professional company to come do it? In this video, I'll show you how to use the Aero Cosmetics wax saw and why it is a must-have for RVers, so you too can get a shine like this. We use our 41-foot fifth wheel year-round, so it never gets a break from the sun and the elements. Having a waxed RV not only keeps it protected from the sun, it creates a barrier between the RV and the dirt and grime, which makes cleaning it a lot easier. Using a good quality wax, like the ceramic wax saw by Aero Cosmetics, has made a drastic difference in how slick and shiny the RV is. I know you can't feel this, but my hand just glides across the surface. So what makes this wax a must-have for RVers? Well, compared to the traditional wax that you put on with lots of elbow grease, let it dry, and take it off even more elbow grease, this wax is nearly effortless. Now I say nearly effortless because any wax requires a little bit of work. Before finding a wax saw, I was using traditional wax to wax the RV. It would take me around 25 hours. That was 5 days, 5 hours of waxing, which felt like an eternity. The wax saw took me a total of 6 hours to wax the entire RV. And unlike traditional waxes, this does not leave white streaks on plastic trim, and you can even use it on glass. Let's talk about the tools you need to wax the RV. First off, you need a bottle of wax saw, maybe two if you have a large RV like this one. You'll also need some good quality microfiber towels. At first, I was using the basic towels found at auto parts stores. After buying the blue Aero Cosmetics towels, I found them to be thicker and much more absorbent. I didn't need to change the towels out as often. If you have black streaks, tree sap, or other contaminants on the surface, you also want to use the Aero Cosmetics clay pad while waxing. This isn't necessary for a basic wax job, but it works great if you need it. And you'll also need a ladder to reach up high. Now let's go over how to use it. First, you'll need a clean surface you'll be waxing. When I can't wash my RV with a scrub brush and hose, I'll go over it with the Aero Cosmetics waterless wash and wax system to remove the major dirt and dust. You'll need to apply the wax to a cool surface. If you try to wax an area the sun's beating on it, the wax will dry as you spray it on, which makes it really hard to buff off. Work in small areas that are 2 foot by 2 foot so you can wax and dry the area before moving on. I spray the area in a square to get it wet, but not too wet where the wax starts running down. I'll use one towel to wet buff the RV and soak up the extra wax, and a second towel to dry buff the area. As the wet buff towel gets damp and starts smearing wax, it's time to change it out. To reduce the amount of towels you'll use, you can take the dry buff towel and start using it as a wet buff towel and get a fresh dry buff towel. I learned that if I didn't completely buff a section dry and left an area with a film of wax and then came back after a big section to do a final buff, it dried and took more effort to buff the area to the point I couldn't see any waxy residue. So you want to make sure you finish an area before moving on. And then repeat this process until you're finished. If you have extra gunk to remove, this is the one to use a clay pad while waxing. You can work the clay pad in any direction, and if there's a dry spot, I'll just add another squirt while I'm working the clay pad. After the area is smooth from the clay pad, I'll use a wet and dry buff towels the same way I have been to finish the area. Now to answer some of your common questions. For waxing at 41-foot fifth wheel, it took nearly 2 bottles of 16.9-ounce wax saw, about 20 microfiber towels, and 1 clay pad. If you plan on waxing over a couple days, you can wash and reuse your towels so you don't need as many. You can also layer this wax so it has a thicker coat, but you need to wait 24 hours between layers. This wax is a Si02 technology that many ceramic waxes have, but what makes this wax different, it's designed to withstand the elements that airplanes go through while being made for things like RVs. You'll find the links to the products I talked about in the description down below. And since I've been using Aero Cosmetics for the last 2 years and loving the results, I reached out to the company and got a referral code for you to save money when you're buying products directly from Aero Cosmetics. You'll find a link to that referral code and a link to our Amazon store with all the products we use in RV in the description down below as well. I also recommend you check out the waterless wash and wax system by Aero Cosmetics so you can keep your RV clean in the campground so you can't wash with water. That video is on the screen next in the description down below as well. Keep your RV shiny and we'll see you in the next video.